Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about And Just Like Crap. That is the name of the show, okay? Coming from a Sex and the City fan. Yes, I'm a straight guy, and I'm a fan of Sex and the City, okay? Yes, I know, somebody called Ripley, right? Unbelievable, but it's actually true, okay? Yeah, I'm that guy that you cannot win the debate with, okay, when it comes to Sex and the City, all right? I know just as much about it, if not more, than you do, okay? I watched every single episode, okay? I got the reviews on this channel to prove it, okay? I know my Sex and the City, all right? And I'm not gay, okay? So that right there, I should belong in the damn Guinness Book of World Records or something, okay? But it's true, all right? I enjoyed the show, but having enjoyed Sex and the City, the show was not realistic at all, okay? Now, I know you women get offended when I say that, but it's true. I'm not saying it's not realistic from the woman's point of view. I'm pretty sure it is. I wouldn't know. I'm not a woman. I've never sat around with a bunch of women talking about guys, okay? But I'm pretty sure it's pretty realistic, the things they talk about, okay? I'll give you that, absolutely. What's not realistic about Sex and the City is the men. There's no men on that show. There's maybe, 2 or 3 guys on that show. I think there was a Big, okay, who did act like a man in the first 4 seasons, and then he slipped off and became a simp. Why? I have no idea. Okay, Steve was pretty realistic. Okay, I knew guys like Steve. All right, he was a soy boy. He was a simp. He was all these things. But when you pushed him against the wall, he actually did have a spine. Okay, and I did like that about him. Okay, he easily could have been a soy boy beta male cuck like all the guys are on these shows. Okay, other than the Sex and the City franchise, but he wasn't. Okay, and that's pretty much about it. Okay, maybe like a Jack Berger was pretty realistic. I know you all hate him. I know, but out of all the guys on that show, that was the one guy, okay? And I did videos on this already when I reviewed those episodes, okay? Ron Livingston played him, okay, on Sex and the City. You all know who he is. He's the one that broke up with Carrie with a Post-it note, okay? Out of all the guys on that show, that was probably the one, at least at that time in my life, that was most like me. Okay, and I will admit that hands down. Hey, a broken clock is right twice a day. Okay, and that one was pretty damn accurate. Even I was shocked when those episodes came out. All right, and I remember when, because the episodes came out on Sunday. Then Monday at work, I remember the girls would be talking about it, and they would be like, "Oh, Berger is such a jerk. He's such an asshole. He said to how you do that to Carrie? What is it?" And I was like, "He didn't do anything wrong." And the girls would look at me like, "What?" Like that. It's like he didn't do anything wrong. Okay, he was on a date with Carrie. They're having like a little picnic at this thing. Okay, and she spent the whole time talking about her exes. Like, what the hell? What was he supposed to do? Just ask her more questions? Okay, which one had the biggest cock or something? Well, what do you expect him to do? He got up, he got on his motorcycle, and he fucking left. That's what he did. That's what I would have done. Except I would have done it sooner than him. I would have sat around for all that shit, And they were just like, "Hey, you don't understand me." No, you don't understand men. You don't understand men. Okay, he barely knows this fucking girl. He finally in a chance where he can talk to her for an extended amount of time and get to know each other. And what does she do? She talks all about her fucking exes. She talks all about her breakup with Big, the love of her life that she was sleeping with behind her boyfriend's back. She left the "I was cheating on my boyfriend the whole time" part out of her story. Okay? So it's like, what the fuck? And then she's complaining about her friends, and she's complaining about her job and her pay. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Bye. I'm done with this shit. You're not pretty enough for me to have to put up with this crap. Okay? And that's the truth. Okay, but nobody on Sex and the City is gonna write that. Nobody. That's toxic masculinity. That's misogyny. That's slut shaming. That's the patriarchy trying to exert control. You see what I mean? And no, it's not. Okay, it's just a man being a man. I know you're not gonna learn this from watching this show. Okay, I'm telling you that right now. You will not learn this from watching this show, but hopefully you're paying attention to me right now and you'll learn this from me. Okay, because your boyfriends are probably not going to tell you this. Your husbands are not going to tell you this. Okay, your dads are probably not going to tell you this because they don't want to piss you off. All right, but I'm gonna let you know a little secret about men. Okay, in a lot of ways, we're a lot like you. Okay, As far as like, there's some women with a lot of self-esteem, and then there's some women with very low self-esteem. And you see that on Sex and the City. Not too much. All the women on Sex and the City all have high self-esteem. I mean, they have their moments, where they doubt themselves, but then they go right back to thinking that they're this queen, there's this boss bitch, right? Whereas all the men on Sex and the City have no self-esteem at all. They have none, okay? And I'm sorry, ladies, okay, but I got to tell you the truth, okay? That's not the case for most of us, okay? We get beat up on life just like you do. Okay, we have our problems, we have our struggles, okay? The only difference between your struggles and our struggles, okay, is ours tend to be more physical. Like, we tend to have the type of jobs that puts our lives in danger. If you're a cop or a fireman or something like that, an engineer, a construction worker, there's a higher chance that you're going to get injured or killed at work than there are the jobs that women tend to do. You see what I mean? That's one of the biggest differences, okay? We're the ones that have to protect our women. We have to protect our children. No one expects the woman to do that. You see what I mean? So if there's a violent altercation or something like that, okay, the man is expected to be the one to protect, okay? All right, so we're in a lot more danger physically than you are, okay? So we have to deal with this stuff, and the only way that we can survive through life, okay, is we have to develop a sense of self-worth. We have to develop a sense of, I got to protect myself. And, as we get older and more mature, I got to protect the people that are close to me. Okay, that's something ingrained in us. We're not born that way. Okay, but we're taught by society and our own inherent strength, our own inherent values. Okay, kind of push us in that direction. Now, there's plenty of guys that aren't that way because they weren't raised that way. Okay, they were raised by a single mom or something. They always had people that did that for them. They never felt they had to do it themselves. But your typical guy has a sense of needing to protect his woman and protecting his children, like he protects his job, like he protects his car. Okay, you see what I mean? That's something that men tend to do a lot more. Excuse me. A lot more than women. Okay, so we have our own struggles. Okay, and whenever anything threatens our ability, okay, to do these things, we have to rise to the occasion or we run away. Okay, most of us, okay, when threatened, okay, are going to rise to the occasion because we've been preparing for it. That's why we are the way that we are. That's why a lot of us are stoic. That's why we can't just cry over every bad thing that happens to us, okay? Because what kind of example is that going to set to our children? Okay, what kind of woman wants to be with a guy who's going to cry at the easiest inconvenience? Okay, you see what I mean? Okay, you don't want a guy like that. Men don't necessarily want to be like that. Unfortunately, there's way too many guys like that because they have no male role models. And they don't have any male role models because shows like this aren't depicting men realistically. Okay, definitely, there's no guy on this show that I can look at and say, I want to be like him. Now, there's guys out there that have more money than I do. There's guys on the show that are better looking than me. Okay, there's guys on the show that are funnier than me. But there's not one single guy on the show that I can look at and be like, I want to be like him. I wish I was like him. Not one. Not one. Okay, and I'm not even the most alpha male guy out there. Okay, I'm not some fucking UFC fighter or something. All right, I'm not some corporate raider or anything like that. I'm just an average guy. Okay, yes, I like to fight, especially in my youth, it's because I train myself to fight. I enjoy that stuff, okay? I enjoy guy things, okay? But you're not going to see me going out in the woods and hunting deer or nothing like that. I don't believe in killing animals. I believe in eating animals. I don't believe in killing them myself. You see what I mean? I'm not that type of a person. All right. So, I mean, even me, I'm not like a diehard like football fan or nothing like that. Although I do enjoy watching football every once in a while. You see what I mean? There's guys out there that are a hell of a lot more masculine than me. Okay. You got with the Duck Dynasty beards, and all that, promoting their steroids, and all that kind of crap. I'm not like that. Like, I'm not that far. Okay. But I think I'm average or a little bit above average as far as what men like. Okay, and I'm telling you right now, this show does not represent us. Neither does Sex and the City. Okay, it's not realistic. Okay, and the fact that women watch these shows and think this shit's going to happen to them. Okay, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad because life will not meet those expectations. Okay, unfortunately, once you turn off the TV and you actually go outside and interact with real men. Okay, real men, you're going to find out that what you saw on In Just Like Crap and what you saw on Sex and the City is not real. Those are not real men. Okay. Not at all. Nowhere near. Maybe the problems that the women have are pretty real. These are the things that women think about. They stress about. Okay, they stress about their looks. They stress about their age. They stress about fucking their fashion and their shoes. And what restaurant they're going to go to. What vacation they're going to take. And what cocktail they're going to drink and all that kind of crap. Okay, that's what Sex and the City was, and I get that. These are interests that most women and gay men have. Okay, but now on In Just Like Crap, we're not even dealing with that stuff so much anymore. And we are, as far as Carrie goes, but the shit she wears is dog awful. Okay, we're into like, BLM. Now we're into like Black Lives Matter and Black History Month and pride parades and all these other fucking shit that this show was never about. It was never about that stuff. Okay, it was never about educating you. Okay, the white woman who's probably living in Jerkwater, Missouri or something, to educate you on the right side of history. Okay, and by that I mean the left side. Okay, and that's just not going to work. Okay, the people that make this show, okay, Candace Bushel herself, they're all fucking New Englanders. Okay, they're all from blue cities like New York and Chicago and LA. Okay, and they all live in a bubble where they think that their shit doesn't stink. All right, they think that they have the right way. They're going to steer. They're going to be the captains of industry when it comes to steering morality. Okay, in our country. Okay, and that's why they invoked all this crap, all this woke nonsense. Okay, they did it because the hedge funds. Okay, because the investment bankers of the world, I'm talking about BlackRock, Vanguard, okay, all these giant hedge funds, okay, they decided they were going to rate the companies based on their environmental and social governance instead of their profits, which is what you're supposed to do. Okay, a corporation that makes a lot of money, okay, gets a higher rating. But they decided to get rid of that and said, no, it's about like, okay, do they have enough black people working there? Do they have enough queer people working there? Are they donating to pride parades? Okay, are they having LGBTQ representation? Okay, are they, you see what I mean? Is enough black lesbians working there? Because if they're not, then we got to make a quota for that. That kind of stuff. That's why you see all this shit collapsing, because nobody makes money off of that, because it gets rid of the merit system. It gets rid of the idea, okay, that the best person should have the job regardless of what's between their legs or what color they are or what religion they are. The best person for the job should get the job, and they're not doing that anymore. Okay, that's why the writing on the show sucks, because they're not hiring talented writers. Okay, I'm sure a lot of these episodes are written by fucking AI, and the ones that edit that, okay, are definitely not straight white men. Okay, there's no men involved in this. Okay, this is all just a fucking algorithm. Okay, written by lefties. That's why you had so much about universities in the past 2 seasons, because you had that college professor, the black college professor. That's why, because that's where these writers came from. They came from woke universities like that, all right, that taught them all these politics, and now they have to teach you these politics. They don't care so much about the people that are watching the show in New York or Chicago or LA or Seattle or San Francisco. They don't care about those people. They're trying to get you. They're trying to get you that lives in fucking Jerkwater, Montana, to subscribe to these politics, okay? Because they want all you to think like Carrie and Miranda and Charlotte and everyone else on that show, okay? That if you're white, there's something wrong with you. If you're straight, there's something wrong with you. If you're a man, you're the scourge of society. You see what I mean? That's what they're trying to promote here. Now, Sex and the City also did this, but they didn't do it nearly as bad. It wasn't right. They weren't hit you over the face with a sledgehammer with this stuff. It was just subtle. It was in the subtext. It was in the background. You knew the show hated men because they always depicted men as dumb, as cowards or as evil, okay? But in Just Like Crap, just fucking eliminates any sort of masculinity at all. There are no men on this show. Every guy you come across is going to be a gay guy. I mean, fucking Charlotte can't even go to a fucking doggy daycare without the guy working there being fucking gay. Okay, last time I checked, Shay Diaz worked at a fucking vet clinic, okay, and everyone there was fucking gay, right? I mean, they can't do anything without it being all gays. You see what I mean? Whenever they do show a straight guy, what do you get? You get the fucking, the producer from the podcast who fucking had like 3 or 4 lines and fuck Carrie and then he was gone. You had the fucking, who else? You had, who was that little Asian guy that worked on Carrie's podcast? Okay, that little shrimp, little fucking beta male pussy boy who was married to a strong, tough, overweight black woman who bossed him around and called him fucking names. He's like, oh, I'm the straight guy on the show. That, what, you got Big, Carrie's husband Big, who she murdered in the first episode. They got rid of him real fucking quick. Okay, the only man I've seen on this show is fucking Steve, and there was one fucking moment, and I already reviewed that episode. Watch it if you don't believe me, okay? Where he actually stood up, where he actually gave fucking Miranda a piece of his mind, and honestly, he went a lot easier on her than I would have gone. Okay, if my wife of 20 fucking something years, okay, all of a sudden told me I'm leaving you for a fucking woman and I'm taking the house with me, get the fuck out, okay? Trust me, it would be a lot worse than the shit that Steve told Miranda. And then but it doesn't fucking matter because in the next episode he forgave her already. He's cool with her. He's fucking sipping coffee with her on the pier. They're buddies again and all that. Yeah, we're good. Miranda, we still do pretty good together. We did something right, didn't we? No hard feelings. Get the fuck out of here. If I was married to your ugly ass, and I put up with your fucking shit for 25 fucking years, and this happened, okay, I'm gonna have some fucking hard feelings, and I'm not gonna get over it in 30 minutes. You see what I mean? That's not realistic. Okay? We are a lot more complex. We're just as complex as you are in a lot of ways. Okay? And this doesn't depict us right. So if women, like I said, I'm not worried about the women that are in their 50s or 60s watching this shit, because I think most of you know better. You've been hit by life enough to know, okay, that this is just a distraction. This isn't the way things are really going to go. Okay? And if you do these things, okay, the consequences that you see on the show are not going to happen to you. Okay, there's going to be serious consequences for living your life this way. Okay, but no, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the girls like Rock. Okay, like Rose, like her age, that are watching this shit and thinking this is what life is like. Okay, it's all pro-gay. It's anti-men. It's you see what I mean? It's all about bitching about your problems. Okay, and get involved in other people's drama. Okay, you see what I mean? The whole, what is it, chicks before dicks or something like that. That'll get you so far, and I understand there's times when you need that, okay? But most of us cannot exist without being with somebody in our lives. Nobody wants to live our life alone. Very few people want to live their lives alone. Even nuns and fucking priests and shit, they give their lives to God. They're not alone because they have God with them all the time. Most of us, we need some human companionship, okay? It's built into our biology. Okay, and in case you haven't noticed, I know a lot of you libtards out there seem to think that the world is like fucking 75% fucking gay and bisexual and all that kind of shit. But in real life, it's not. There's a reason the human race still exists, okay? And it's because we've been fucking, and not each other either, okay? We've been fucking the opposite sex, okay? That's why. Okay, that's why, okay? That's why the human race still exists, okay? And the problem now is that, because of all these high standards, because of social media, because of fucking dating apps and shit like that, okay, people aren't having sex anymore because the men aren't living up to these standards. These women are fucking disgusting, but yet they have these huge high standards because of watching shows like this. The men aren't living up to them, so all these average-looking women are competing for the same guy, whereas all the average-looking guys are getting nobody. Okay, hence no sex. Men aren't getting married anymore because they've seen what happens to their dad, okay, when their mom cheats on their dad and takes the fucking house and takes the alimony and the child support, okay? They've seen that happen, okay? They've got brothers that have been divorced and their wife took them for everything, okay? You see, all the stuff that they worked hard for, she took it away from him, okay? How many, and the kids got taken away from them, okay? And so they see, so many guys, we've grown up watching this shit happen over and over again, okay? So what do we learn from this? That we should marry the woman? No! I'm pretty sure their parents were in love when they got married, but it didn't end up that way, did it? Okay, and the men end up losing a hell of a lot more than the women do because the family court system is always favors a woman, okay? You've got this epidemic of female teachers fucking having sex with their 12 and 11-year-old students, okay? I mean, every fucking day there's another teacher getting arrested somewhere for doing this shit, okay? But yet you have an episode on It Just Like Crap where where Lisa and Charlotte are fucking fingering themselves over like a fucking 15-year-old boy? Are you out of your fucking mind? And that's considered cool and nuanced? You see what I mean? This is the values that this fucking show is promoting. Okay, they're trying to fucking make Lily into this big fucking whore where she's just gonna fuck a whole bunch of guys because she just turned fucking 17 or some shit, and her mom is the one buying her the condoms, through a fucking snowstorm to get her daughter condoms. I mean, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. And then you got Rose, who's clearly fucking lesbian, okay, and fucking has her own fucking they them pronouns. Get the fuck out of here. You're a fucking girl. You see what I mean? This is the shit that we're getting on the show. Okay, and I'm telling you, dude, if you want to know why society in America is so fucked up right now, why we need someone like fucking Donald Trump, okay, to come home, and fucking take off the fucking belt, okay, it's because of shit like this. All right, let's get back to the episode, all right? The episode is called Outlook Good. Now, where we left off last time, okay, we had Seema, butt ugly, chain smoking, entitled, insufferable, narcissist, pyromaniac Seema, okay, and her super rich movie director action movie boyfriend. Okay, they're at a pier. He's scouting locations. They're supposed to be on a date. Okay, he just flew in from wherever the fuck he was to New York to see her, to prove his love for her. She basically gave him an ultimatum. You need to get over here right now and prove that you love me. So he showed up, but he's got work to do because she called him while he's in the middle of work. He's got shit to do. And she said, you better get over here right now or else we're breaking up. So he showed up. Okay, but guess what? Unfortunately, just because he showed up and had sex with you the night before, he still has work to do. Now, I'm not gonna take anything away as far as Ravi being a jerk of a boyfriend. He most definitely is. I'm not making him an angel or nothing. But god damn it, bitch, you called him in the middle of work and demanded that he show up at your apartment in New York. I think it was in Egypt or something, filming. And he fucking flew to fucking New York overnight to be with you after you set your fucking apartment on fire for your own dumbassery. Okay, and he's still working. He's still got shit to do. So he says, hey, listen, I got to scout a location this morning. And after that, we're going to have lunch at this nice restaurant. She gets all dressed up. They say, but she's got to share an SUV with his crew, who are all blue collar guys. They have like fucking Sprites and potato chips and sandwiches in their fucking cooler and shit like that. Because they're working. Okay, they're not super rich fucking real estate owners, agency owners and shit like she is. They don't have a personal driver like she does. You see, these are blue collar people. Okay, so they're going around scouting locations. He's trying to find a pier to film his climax from the superhero movie he's making. Okay, all the piers he's seen that morning he does not like. Unfortunately, he lost track of time. They've already missed their lunch reservation at this nice restaurant. She's all dressed up for it. Okay, he's all dressed up for it, but he's busy working. So she's upset. He tells her, hey, I'm sorry, I let the time get away from me. Okay, tell you what, I'll move the reservation to dinner. We'll have dinner there instead, okay? But right now, I gotta finish this because you kind of did fucking call me in the middle of my fucking shoot in fucking Egypt and told me to show up right away, okay? And I did, but guess what, okay? I still got fucking investors. I still got producers that I gotta answer to, okay? And I still got shit to do, the dailies that I gotta fucking shoot, all right? So let me do my fucking job, okay? Leave me the fuck alone, and then I will see you tonight. Okay, that's what should have happened, but that's not what happened here, okay? Instead, she's just like, she does everything except tell him, hey, listen, all right? I was expecting to spend the day with you here, and instead, half the day's gone, and I'm just here, watching you work. That's not what I wanted to do. Tell you what, I'm gonna go home, you finish your shit, and then I will meet you at the restaurant, okay, tonight at 7, okay? How about that? That makes a lot more sense. Nobody's feelings have to get hurt here, right? Okay, but she's not gonna do that. Okay, she's gonna play nonchalant and coy and expect him to read her fucking mind when it's clearly that he's obsessed with his job. He's always been obsessed with his job. He's always fucking working his job. He's always answering his cell phone when he's supposed to be hanging out with her or being intimate with her. Whenever he's fucking her doggy style, he's always on his fucking cell phone talking to a producer or an actor, okay, with his fucking scarf surgically attached to his neck, okay? That happened all last season. There's no reason to expect that it wouldn't happen now. All right, but yet Seema, for some dumbass reason, wants to test him. Okay, like you've already tested him. You already know what he's like. He's willing to put up with your disgusting pig ass. Okay, your snoring ass. Okay, so why don't you cut him a little bit of slack here? But no, she won't do that. In fact, she's gonna blame him for her setting her own fucking bed on fire because he didn't answer his FaceTime when she wanted him to. So she got bored and lit a cigarette and fell asleep. I mean, this is ridiculous. She could have burned down the whole fucking building, could have killed many people. Okay, she could have gotten scarred herself. She could have been a fucking burn victim or something like that. She could have killed the fucking firemen that were putting out the fire. Okay, but does she give a shit about that? No, she doesn't. All she gives a shit about is that she burned a couple of inches off of her fucking hair and now she had to cut her hair like 3 inches shorter. Big fucking deal. And that's his fault, even though he was in Egypt when she did that. Anyway, so Seema calls Carrie to complain, of course she does, about the day. And she says, Carrie, I've had to eat Sprites and chips out of a cooler. Now Carrie's like, oh, okay, Seema, I will be right there. Okay, like that's a horrible thing. Let me tell you something, there's a lot of fucking starving people in America, in your own fucking city, New York, okay, that have less to eat than that. And this is what you're gonna bitch about? Anyway, Charlotte, by the way, has got some drama, some subplot going on with her dog, Richard Burton. Yes, she named her fucking pit bull, Richard Burton. Apparently, there's this old Jewish lady in Central Park who believes that Richard Burton attacked her little dog, her little chihuahua named Peanut. And because of the injuries to Peanut, she had to get an MRI done for her little baby, her little dog. And she expects Charlotte to pay for that MRI. Although there is no proof that Charlotte's dog actually did that. This is just what the old lady says. Okay? So apparently they went on Instagram and now they're harassing Richard Burton, like, yes, Charlotte set up an Instagram account for her fucking dog, and she's being harassed online, so now Charlotte's losing her shit. She even missed her daughter's fucking gay ballet recital for this shit, okay? Because she loves her fucking dog more than she loves her own fucking children, and definitely more than she loves her husband, Harry, all right? Harry even points that out in this episode. When she says, oh, I'll be thinking about you all day, I miss you so much, I love you. Harry's like, I'm just going to pretend she was saying that to me. Like that, okay? Like the pussy he is. Anyway, Shaw confronts Peanut's owner, the old lady, and agrees to pay for the MRI, okay? Despite the fact that her dog did not do it. And she says that, I know my dog didn't do it, but just for you to stop harassing my dog online, I'm going to go ahead and pay for the MRI, all right? Okay, now, of course, the lady says, I saw your dog do it. It was your dog, okay? Now, let me get my glasses, okay? So clearly, this is ridiculous, all right? Okay, so while she looks for her glasses, and a different pit bull arrives and attacks her dog, Peanut. And she's like, oh my God, get away. Okay, and Charlotte uses this opportunity to let this woman know, you see what I mean? Okay, my dog is right here. Okay, and on the leash. Okay, that pit bull attacking your dog is not my dog. You have no right to accuse me and my dog of doing this shit. I want you to take down your harassment campaign against my dog and all that kind of shit, right? So that's it. It's just a wasted subplot here, okay? Okay, the next thing here, okay, now they're at an abandoned, rundown pier that looks like shit. Obviously, it's about to be demolished. Okay, it's sunset. The sun is setting now. So you got this big panoramic view here. You've got Ravi in his nice outfit, okay, with his scarf around his neck and his sunglasses, you know, looking at everything, all fucking animated and emotional and shit over the sky. Oh, look at the sunset. And this screams to me disaster. This screams to me the climax of my movie. And this screams like that, okay? Like the weirdo that he is. Okay, he definitely approves of this location, and Seema's just standing there all pissed off like she always is, smoking her fucking cigarettes and okay, all that shit. And Seema decides that their relationship will end here too. Okay, she just decides after spending all day with him, watching him work, she decides that this guy cares about his job a hell of a lot more than you. Well, what the fuck do you expect? Okay, how is that any different from the women on this show? Every fucking woman on this show cares about her fucking job more than she cares about her fucking husband or boyfriend. Every single one. So who the fuck are you to judge him for being the same fucking way? Okay, so anyway, you know, and like I said, Seema could have been direct with him. She could have just said, hey, listen, I'm not here for this. Okay, I thought we were going to have dinner. I thought we were going to have lunch. Now we're not. Okay, and I'm afraid we're not going to have dinner. Okay, so you do you. I'm going to go back to the place. Okay, back to my apartment. Okay, and if you want to see me for dinner, you see me. If not, let me know. Because I'm going to go dinner with my girlfriends or some shit like that. That's what should have happened. All right? And she should have also told me, I don't appreciate you making me feel like we were going to spend a day together when instead I'm just here watching you work. That's not what I got all dressed up for. Okay, she could have been direct at any moment during the day, but she was not. And now she's pissed off because Robbie didn't read her mind. Fuck you, Seema. Okay? You know, let me just figure, okay, so Robbie says like, oh, I'm sorry, my darling, I lost track of time. And she says, you know, you also lost track of me. And you know what? I also think I lost track of me. Okay? Of course, she's an entitled, narcissistic bitch. Okay, this is exactly what happened with that nightclub owner. Remember from last season? Remember she met that nightclub owner at the end of season 1? Okay, and they became boyfriend and girlfriend in season 2. Or no, they became boyfriend and girlfriend at the end of season 1. Then at the beginning of season 2, they break up because he tried to get her to invest in something. Right? So obviously, he was just fucking her for her money. So she dumped him. Okay, now she's gonna dump Robbie. Okay, like this woman would ever date guys like this in real life. No guy like no nightclub owner no owner of the hottest nightclub in Brooklyn. A guy who's up to his fucking testicles. Okay, and fucking hot ass 19-year-old women that are begging to come into his club. No guy like that, and no fucking movie director who associates with producers and actresses and starlets who will do anything to be in his fucking movie. No guys like this are ever gonna fall in love with a fat fucking Indian chain-smoking pig like fucking Seema who thinks she's all that and entitled. Okay, it's not gonna fucking happen. Okay, this shit belongs in a fucking Marvel movie. All right, not on HBO Max. Okay, so that's going on here. You know, she says that this pier is the end of our movie. It's the end of your movie and it's the end of our movie too. Okay, and she's like, you didn't even remember why my hair was shorter. Like that's his fucking fault or something. What the fuck? He showed up, didn't he? Didn't he fucking show up? Didn't he fucking leave Egypt and hop on a plane because you gave him an ultimatum to see your fucking ass with flowers, no less? And you're pissed off you didn't remember why your hair was 2 inches shorter? You did that yourself, you dumb bitch. What's he supposed to do? Call a fire department from Egypt or some shit? What the fuck? What did you expect him to do? You knew he was a workaholic. And you decided to be his fucking girlfriend anyway. He doesn't even fucking live in New York. He was renting a temporary apartment from you so he could film some scenes in New York. He doesn't even fucking live there. Fucker lives in Hollywood. What the fuck were you thinking? God damn. Anyway, so yeah, so she gets mad. He didn't remember why her hair was shorter. She's like, I almost died waiting for a FaceTime from you. Yes, always find a way to blame the man for her own irresponsibility, her own bad decisions, all right? Okay, so they try to do an old classical movie scene here, okay? You got the sunset, you got the orchestra music playing, you know, she's wearing this white gown or something, and he's just like, but sweetheart, I love you, da-da. You know, that kind of shit, all right? You know, the last kiss, you know, the sunset, the breakup, the orchestra music and all that, right? This is it? We're over? And he does it over the top, you know, shit, you know. He's like, you know, he's like, I will always love you. Like that, you know. Of course, this is bullshit, you know, and she's just like, her car arrives, her driver arrives to pick her up. She's like, that's a great ending for your movie. And then she gets in the car to go fucking pig out at the all-you-can-eat buffet at fucking China House. All right, now, back to Herbert and Lisa. Okay, Herbert, okay, the soy boy beta male guy bossed around by his wife, Lisa. Okay, it was basically, these are the black version of Charlotte and Harry. Okay, they go to this restaurant called the Red Rooster, okay, which does not allow white people except for tonight. So we're going to have 4 white people in this all-black restaurant because those are legal in New York. Okay, the white people that are going to be there is going to be Anthony, Miranda, Charlotte, and Carrie. That's it. Everyone else in this fucking restaurant is black. Like, you have to be black, not half black. Okay, not black passing. You have to be black in order to come into this club, unless you have a special deference like fucking Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, and Anthony have. All right? So they go there. It's an all-black restaurant, you know, and because he's running for city comptroller, he's campaigning for that. This is part of his campaign. Why? Because everybody knows that white people don't vote in elections in New York. Only black people do. All right. So that's going on here. You know, Carrie talks about Aiden's phone sex and how she faked her orgasm. She talks to her girlfriends about that, and Miranda and Charlotte. Okay, and she says she's never faked it with Aiden before. It's the first time she ever faked her orgasm. Okay, of course you didn't fake it. That's why you were fucking big behind his back for 2 years, because you didn't fake it with Aiden. Anyway, I guess we're supposed to forget that, right? Okay, so anyway, and she says she never faked it with Aiden before. Yeah, she's trying to put a fucking halo on herself now. You see what I mean? All right. Yeah, because of course, she's not responsible for shit, right? Okay, so she never faked it with Aiden. Yeah, right. Okay, it's the most honest thing about their relationship. Okay, honest thing, you know, except for the 2 years when you were cheating on him with your fucking married ex-boyfriend, Big, okay? Other than that, it's always been completely honest, you and him, all right? Yes, absolutely. Makes total sense, okay? Anthony arrives, okay, and then Herbert announces that his college a cappella group is going to sing for everyone, and luckily you and me are, you know, we are treated to that, to Herbert and his fucking a cappella group from fucking college are all singing, okay, because that's what we need to hear, and they're singing some beautiful song called "To Old Morehouse." Yes, that's the name of the song. All right. Moving right along, Carrie and her friends, okay, they look like they're tourists at a zoo, okay? Like they went to an all-black zoo. Imagine this for a second. Imagine you go to a zoo that's all black, and you're the only white people there. You and your 2 friends, the only white people there, and you're looking around, and you're pointing, and you're like, oh. Like that. Imagine that, okay? But instead of pointing at the animals, you're pointing at the fucking people. All right, you know, And Anthony, however, does apologize to Carrie because he has been pestering her about Aiden. What happened with you and Aiden? Why did you together now? What's going on here? You know, like that. And she's not comfortable talking about it. She didn't want to talk about it. She kind of blew him off. So he apologizes for pestering her. It's none of his business who Carrie's fucking. He's really trying very hard to be Samantha on this show. Okay, you cannot replace Samantha. I'm sorry. There's only one Kim Cattrall. Okay, and the gay's best friend of Charlotte is not going to take that place. Okay, yes. I understand that Samantha was basically a gay man in a woman's body, okay? But now you actually got a gay man in a gay man's body, and it's not the same thing, all right? Sorry, but it's not. Okay, Chauncey, we find out who Chauncey is. Chauncey is the a campaign manager for Herbert. He's the one that's going to help him get elected as comptroller, and he's not happy that the a cappella band is singing at this engagement, you know. And of course, Lisa tells him, you know, the Glee Club, and Lisa tells him, hey, listen, you know, this is I have a lot of shit going on right now, and this is the best I could do. Blah blah blah. All right, and he tells her something like, oh, it was never like this when I worked at the White House. Boom, that triggers something in Lisa because Lisa's documentary, the producers at PBS told her that she needs to add Michelle Obama in her documentary or else they're not going to buy it. Now, she's been working on this documentary for 7 or 8 years now, okay, has not received a paycheck yet. Why has she been doing this for 7, 8 years? Because her husband fucking pays all the bills. The husband that pays for everything in that fucking house, for the private school, for their luxury multi-million-dollar apartment, for their vacations, for her fucking super expensive wardrobe, all that shit is paid for by her husband, who she treats like absolute fucking shit and makes fun of. And he's okay with it because he's got to call her and ask her, is my dick big or isn't it? Please tell me it's big, please. He does that every fucking day too. All right, that's the kind of guy she's married to. All right, so that's going on here. Actually, Lisa has a bigger dick than her husband. All right, he impregnated him. She impregnated him. All right. Anyway, so that's going on here. Okay, but now she wants this guy Chauncey because he probably knows Michelle Obama or he knows somebody that knows Michelle Obama. So maybe she can use him to get Michelle Obama into her fucking documentary. All right. Meanwhile, butt ugly Rosie O'Donnell is still blowing up Miranda's phone, wanting to hook up again. Miranda's annoyed. Okay, she's like, "Oh my god, that fucking nun that I fucked the other day that I took her virginity. Well, now she's blowing up my phone. She wants me to meet her at Times Square. She says she just finished watching Wicked." Another fucking gay movie, which I reviewed on this fucking channel, by the way. I did a review, Wicked. It's another fucking gay fucking movie full of ugly people. Okay, you should watch it. Okay, it's actually not that bad. Okay. Anyway, so that's going on here, okay? Now at Times Square, now we're in Times Square, New York, okay? We get an Adam West, a guy dressed up like the Adam West Batman, which I thought was funny. And then you got King Kong. Okay, why are they there? Why is King Kong there and Adam West Batman there? Because this is what gay guys and women think straight guys are all about. We're all about fucking King Kong and fucking Adam West Batman from the fucking mid 1960s. That's what they think men are. No, it's because you're fucking old, okay? And that's what you remember. The boys that were bullying you, okay, were watching fucking King Kong and Adam West Batman, okay, while they were picking on you for being a fucking sissy, okay? That's what you remember when you were like fucking 5 or 6 years old, and that's why you put that in there, because you think all fucking straight guys, that's all we fucking care about is fucking Adam West Batman and fucking King Kong. The only King Kong in this fucking movie is Rosie O'Donnell. I'll fuck the guy in the King Kong suit before I'll fuck that thing. Anyway, so anyway, Rosie's there. Of course, she's wearing her Wicked sweater that she got at the fucking at the show. Okay, and she bought some M&Ms for Miranda. Get it? Because Rosie's character's name is Mary and Miranda M&M. Get it? She went to the M&M store and got her fucking. I've actually been to the M&M store, but the one in Vegas. I've never been to the one in New York. Okay, I guess that's the thing libtards do. All right, so she gives her the fucking bag of M&Ms because, you know, Mary and Miranda, that kind of thing, you know. And Miranda tells her, it's like, listen, you know, don't do anything based on what you're feeling now. Okay? Don't leave God for me. Okay? And Rosie's like, God, now you're married. You know? And then she starts singing Because I Know You, which is a song from Wicked. It's a gay fucking song. All right. Anyway, because she's afraid that Mary is going to renounce the church or something, because Miranda renounced her marriage when she woke up and decided she was gay and left her husband for this fucking, for Fred Flintstone with lipstick and a vagina. Okay, that's what she left her fucking, her husband. That's what she left Steve for. Okay, anyway. And of course, Rosie's like, "Oh, you want to go fuck now?" And she's just like, "No." Okay, because I mean they're both ugly. What the fuck, man? I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so Carrie, the next thing, Carrie calls Aiden to admit that she faked her orgasm on the phone. No fucking shit. He came like in fucking 18 seconds, okay? Of course you faked it. And you expect him, okay, oh yeah, he's a dumbass written by gay guys and lesbians. Of course he believed that she actually had an orgasm. Okay, sorry, I forgot. Okay, just like he believed that she was faithful to him when they were together before. All right, okay, so Carrie calls Aiden to admit she faked her orgasm, but she is fingering herself right now in bed, okay, and she's ready for some hot phone sex with Aiden. Okay, unfortunately, Wyatt is in bed with Aiden. Why the fuck is your 16, 15-year-old son in bed with you? Okay, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is going on here? I understand he's depressed. I understand he crashed the car and almost died and got drunk because he didn't want you to leave and move to New York. Okay, but why the fuck are you sharing a bed with him? What the fuck? You got to change his diapers too? Okay, like do you got to walk him to school every day or some shit? I mean, what the fuck, man? You got to read him a bedtime story as well? Why the fuck is he sleeping in the same bed with you? Jesus Christ, dude, he's not fucking 5 years old. Anyway, that's going on here. Okay, she's in bed with Aiden. Why? Okay, why don't you just go to the bathroom or something, Aiden, while you're talking to Carrie? Okay, why don't you go out to your truck? It's only right outside. Why can't you do anything? Okay, because your son is. This is ridiculous. This is bullshit. Okay, the kid looks like he's fucking 15, 16, 17 years old. All right. Anyway, while this is going on, the kitchen door alarm goes off again. Carrie is upset. She can't sleep. So she goes to her laptop and decides to open it, okay? And she starts writing on her laptop. She writes down, what have I gotten myself into? Okay, why? Because everything is Aiden's fault. This whole situation with her being lonely, being in this house, her not buying furniture, okay, her not being able to have phone sex with him, her not dating anybody right now, okay, her having to fucking defend Aiden to everybody, okay, like Anthony and her friends, and all that kind of shit. All that is Aiden's fault. Okay, of course it is. So what this is telling you is that she's about to fucking go step out on Aiden, okay? Well, why the fuck did you agree to a 5-year split anyway? This is bullshit. You either break up or you fucking don't. Clearly, Aiden wants to be with his sons more than he wants to be with you, okay? That's the bottom line, okay? You fucked him over before. Why the fuck do you expect he to ever come back? Oh yeah, it's written by gay guys. Of course he came back to her. Okay? This is bullshit. This is unrealistic. You think I would ever fucking lose any fucking sleep over a fucking chick that cheated on me 25 fucking years ago? Are you out of your fucking mind? Anyway, what do I know? Okay, at least I'm done with this episode. I'll be back soon to continue my review once episode 2 comes out. All right, season 3. I thank you for watching this long. I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye.